This thing's a little moldy.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah.
True.
It's lovely though. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where's the coffin?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah. 2 years, things just slip out of your mind. So
Yeah.
I get it.
No idea. It's weird that it's been that long.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years already.
I mean, 2 years, that's longer than we did the whole of Unus Annus.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually weird if you think about it. It's been 3 years since the idea first was born.
It's true. Yeah. Thinking about that night when we launched the channel.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like it was 2 years ago. It feels like longer, honestly. I don't know if it feels like it's been a short amount of time, but Unus Annus for me feels like it was like a decade ago. It feels so far away. So far away.
Yeah. I mean, the 1 year anniversary of the death felt like it was just yesterday that it had ended. Now, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's distant. It's faded.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's faded really quickly, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what happens. It always does fade. Things just kind of do. But
do you think that with that fading, that the way that the channel impacted you has changed? Like it has gone from this big thing in your mind to something that you just did a few years ago. You know what I mean?
I mean, no. I doubt it is for you either. Because what it is all of those lessons and all the learnings and all the things that came up about it and the stress and the joy and the pain, like those just became part of me. I incorporated all those things and carried it on to the work that I did. Maybe not to the same degree of relentlessness that Unus Annus was, but, I definitely learned a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't... The way that it affected me hasn't changed. I think that it hasn't faded at all. I think about Unus Annus a lot. Not necessarily in like I miss it, and like I do miss it, but I think about the way that it affected me a lot, and the way that it changed me, and the way that it changed the way that I operate, like not only as like a person making videos or whatever, but like just day to day. I feel like I learned how to appreciate stuff a little bit more with Unus Annus. And I feel like with different things that I've worked on and different things where I'm like, I want to try and appreciate this more, Unus Annus taught me, I feel like, how to do that. Because I feel like I've never like lived in the moment more than I did with Unus Annus.
Mm-hmm. And in a weird way, like with living in the moment, it's both appreciating it for the moment and also realizing that a lot of the moments in between don't matter, which can sound scary. And I get it. Like it may seem counter to the message to be like, oh, every moment matters. But it's like, there's a lot of moments in between that don't matter that are still really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
Like time's going to tick by no matter what. They can't all be incredibly important seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just really love those calm ones.
Mm-hmm.
The moments in between, the moments after like an upload just went up,
Mm-hmm.
and there's that little bit of rest before it's like, okay, get the content engine going again. That's nice.
I miss that grind a lot. Like it's different I don't even necessarily know if I miss that grind. I miss the feeling of togetherness that we had, all three of us. Like, I miss that feeling of being able to work with people like that, you know, because I don't get that every day, and I know that you don't get that every day, and like I miss that routine a lot, and I think that it's very easy to feel kind of lonely, and I think that despite a lot of hard stuff that happened in that year, both like personally and obviously the world, like I think that Unus Annus in doing that was one of the times where I felt the least alone ever. And I miss that a lot.
Least alone in a time when the world was incredibly alone for a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that. It's funny, I've worked on a few things since Unus Annus with other people, but it was never the same, you know. It's always with a lot of people who it's their job to work on the project. And not that there's anything wrong with that. People have to have a job. And thankfully, I've been able to work with people that were almost as passionate about the idea as I was. And that's a lot to expect out of someone who you just met for the job. I've also had the opposite, you know, a lot of people that were on these just for jobs, you know, they didn't have any passion for it. And I find that so curious, you know, I would be so passionate about something, I'd fight for something, and no one would fight back for what they believed in, because they didn't believe in it, and they didn't see the feeling of it, and they didn't see the potential of it. And it's like, I kind of felt bad that either through, you know, being jaded or just not having the opportunity to really embrace the joy of making things, and the joy of like what Unus Annus was, and the temporary nature of it, and the potential, you know. Like a lot of people out there just miss out on it, even if it's gone and you have to let go of this idea. There's more out there.
So it's funny because this year, you know, I think there was a lot of people in the first year of it ending that there was still a lot of talk about Unus Annus and what the channel was overall and what the channel was to people individually. But now, and this will continue to happen, is that, and I say this like almost selfishly in a way, that like the channel getting further away from it being alive, it's like turning it more into this legend, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Because I've talked to so many people and seen so many people in this last year that have said like, oh, you know, I wasn't there for Unus Annus, or I was there right at the end, or like even some people like, I just found out that Unus Annus was a thing and I wish that I could have been there for it. But it's crazy just seeing it morph into more of this like little YouTube legend where it's like, yeah, not everybody got to experience it. And that number of people will only grow as time passes, of more and more people being like, yeah, I wasn't there. Like, I wish that I was, but I wasn't. And I'll never be able to see that. And I wish that I could have been a part of that.
Yeah. And it's like, of course, there's never going to be another Unus Annus. There's not going to be two Unus Annus, as much as people joke about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, it couldn't happen. If you understand what it's about, you know why it couldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't think that the idea itself is going to be gone forever. I think that, I would hope that someone else could make something that they're just as passionate about, that they have the right circumstances for, that they have the right talents for, to just make something for the sake of ending it. You know, there's, I don't think that we, as much as it's cool to have like a YouTube legend, I don't think that we're some exceptional, unbelievable, godlike creators. Maybe we are, who knows? Time will tell. But we're just a few people that like making things, you know. That's it. That's what it's all about.
I think there was something so so beautiful about the willingness to let it go. And that's something that made it so much more special. And I know that's something that we've talked about a lot, which was the whole meaning behind the channel. Was it was special because it had to die and stuff like that. But like going day to day, I don't feel as excited as I did with stuff with Unus Annus. I still feel excited and I still feel passion behind things, but there was this certain feeling that I got with Unus Annus where every video felt special in a way, and every video felt exciting and like it had a purpose. And I think a lot of that was because we knew that it was going to end, and every day that we put out something, no matter what it was, okay, that's another tally mark on the wall, getting closer and closer to everything going away. And it just, I don't know. I still haven't found a feeling quite like that. And I can think back on times in Unus Annus and I can feel like how I felt during that time. Like if you get like a weird smell and it like triggers a memory, I get that a lot with thinking about Unus Annus.
Yeah. No, it's a show of feelings. Mm-hmm. The whole channel was just based around a feeling. Not a lot of people get that. Not a lot of people can get that. You know, there's this concept that human thought is not necessarily in words, even though if we think in words, we think that's how it is, but we're just thinking in words of the things that we're taught to translate our feelings into. In reality, feelings and emotions are the fundamental human language, and making things with feelings in mind should seem natural, and yet is so counterintuitive. And especially the darker feelings, you know, the feelings of loss and nostalgia and pain and things ending. You know, people don't like to embrace those feelings, but there's beauty in those feelings, because there's beauty in like the human experience, and that is, to quote Lion King, you know, the circle of life. It's just man. I ever tell you I'm super profound in the way I talk, and I say words real good, you know.
Here's an interesting question. Just because I know you pretty well, and I know the way that your brain works with certain stuff. And I think that Unus Annus was also like a testament to that, with the way that we were willing to let things go and how we knew the purpose of the channel and stuff like that. And I know that everything isn't black and white. But do you ever feel sad about Unus Annus? Like, I know that overall I think everything is kind of bittersweet, and a lot of it is pride, where you feel proud of the things that we made. But like, do you ever feel sad about it?
It's a difficult question to answer, because sadness is not necessarily the same. It's not a simple emotion, right? Because you can cry tears of joy. You can have extreme pain at happy and, you know, sad memories. For me, I'm never really sad about it. I'm really not. That may seem strange to people, but then again, you know, it was part of the channel that was trying to rip people's hearts out intentionally. But no, I don't get sad. I do feel very strongly, you know, the same feelings as when it was starting and ending. I resonate with those, but I wouldn't call it sadness. Whether or not I miss it is a different thing. I would not equate that to sadness, but of course, yeah. I miss it. I miss those moments. I miss the grind of videos. And it's, we can never do it again. We can never make videos again. Yeah, ever. It's the biggest tragedy of them all.
That is, it's kind of a weird thing, because like the stuff that we've made since then, I've felt like it's always been fun and enjoyable and stuff like that, but sometimes it's like sometimes it's very hard because of Unus Annus. It's almost like, stay with me here. It's almost like being good friends with an ex in a way, where like we've made videos and it's been really fun and I enjoy doing it, but sometimes it's just like, oh man, it makes me a little sad, where it's like, oh, like, remember what we used to have. You know what I mean, though?
Nathan, I won't take you back. Yeah, look, we can't do Unus Annus again. What's in the past is in the past.
I know.
No, I get that. You kind of, and again, don't take this the wrong way. You kind of do these videos and you record it and you're like, all right, cool. And you ask yourself, but what was the point of making that? You know, what was the meaning behind it other than just making content, which is fine. It entertains and it's fun. But if you have seen like a glimpse of what real meaning is in something, you kind of look for it everywhere. You look for it everywhere. And if you want to find meaning, I got you a present.
Present for me?
Yeah. If you look under your chair, there's
oh, Otter Pops.
You got Otter Pops?
Otter Pops.
Are they melted?
They're not melted.
Okay, good.
They're not melted. They're still very much alive.
Good.
And intact.
Good. You wanna just see some Otter Pops?
Do you remember the video that this was from? Or it was probably multiple.
Yeah. So we recorded multiple. It was probably Brick Soccer.
I think it was Brick Soccer.
Great idea.
Cut to 5 seconds ago, you being like, you want to find true meaning in something.
Yeah, kick a brick around for a while.
Soccer.
You do that when you step away, being like, oh yeah, this is going to make people feel something. I mean, that was the whole thing. Like, it didn't matter what the videos were.
Oh.
That's kind of... There'll be someone that dissects this all with better words than we ever could in the true meaning of it. But the thing is, people feel it. You don't necessarily need to translate it. Sometimes you do for the people that weren't there to understand it. But for those that were, like, they get it.
Yeah. I think it's nice that, you know, as a whole, the people who were there, they all have this kind of thing in common. And I think it's nice that the community sort of lives on and that people are able to still get meaning from it. Like a friend of mine who wasn't like a fan of the channel, he's a good friend. He had an Unus Annus shirt on and he was walking down the street and somebody just looked at him and like gave him a knowing nod and was like, nice shirt. And I just think it's cool that people can have that kind of relationship with each other through the memory of the channel, and people can still like get the meaning of it, you know, and still take that with them. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just nice.
It is nice. There'll be less and less people every year, but yeah, for those that it had meaning, it really had meaning. It's beautiful that people are willing to share, you know. I know we joked about it at first, just being like, "Whoa, redacted" or whatever, and people really took that up. Not in the way that I was intending. I never wanted people to forget about it or pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
I think people did. I just realized right now that is what people did to compensate for the pain of it being gone. You lean into humor and you lean into like inside jokes because it really did hurt.
Yeah.
A lot of people, it hurt real bad. So for some, it might have been easier just to deny and feed into that joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just pretend like it didn't exist.
Mm-hmm. But it did.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to be able to come back every year and just think about it, you know, and to just talk about it and to remember what it was and to remember all of those times, because I think about Unus Annus a lot, but not on this kind of level where I just kind of sit and think about it a little bit and sort of allow myself to remember, I guess. I don't know. It is really like not as severe, obviously, but it is really like grieving a friend who passed away in a way, you know, because we'll never be able to get that back ever, you know, no matter what we do in the future. Even if we were, and we won't, do a Unus Annus, it would not be the same. You know, it's not the same thing. People won't be able to relive that, you know. Unus Annus will never be able to happen again because it won't ever be able to happen for the first time again, and that's kind of what made it special. And so it's nice to kind of be able to remember and grieve in a way.
You know what's an even sadder thought, though? Is if we were to do this every year, which who knows, maybe we will. If we were, there'll come a year, someday, where one of these chairs will be empty.
Mm-hmm.
And then both.
Yep.
Probably because one of us will be canceled. Like, let's just be honest. Let's just be perfectly honest with each other here. I'm not talking if we're faffing about Unus Annus in 20 years, God help.
I hope we're not doing this in 20 years.
You want to eat some Otter Pops?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What color do you want?
I don't know. What you got?
Green.
Surprise. All right. That's sweet.
Do you need scissors?
Nah.
Don't throw the scissors.
I got. What was that, Amy? Don't throw the scissors. I think maybe you should. Well, don't. Don't do it. Is he going to do it?
No.
Okay, good.
No, I won't.
Amy, you want an Otter Pop? Amy doesn't want an Otter Pop.
Come on, Amy. How about Otter Pop?
Come on, Amy.
For all kinds.
Throw Amy an Otter Pop.
Otter Pop.
Jesus.
She caught it.
I did.
Which one of us do you think's going to die first?
I hope it's me.
Yeah, I hope so too. Man, these suck.
They're smaller than they were a couple years ago. Shrinkflation.
Shrinkflation.
They were. Someone could pull up the old video of you holding an otter pop
Mm-hmm.
side by side. Oh no, we didn't have otter pop.
Yeah.
That was the point.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind.
Memories. All right.
Huh?
See you again next year.
Yeah, I'll see you next year.
Okay.